So my agent calls me and he says, tomorrow you've got a chemistry test with Johnny and Simone. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he goes, yeah, they're not really considering anyone else, so it's kind of yours. Hi there, I'm Charithra Chandran, and I play Edwina Sharma in season 2 of Bridgerton. And here's how I prepared. Auditioning for Bridgerton was a very long process, but it was never very stressful. So I actually didn't meet any cast members until rehearsals started, like dance rehearsals and makeup and costume fittings. Everything was via Zoom. I do remember the script I read for the audition, and actually they sort of used a code. So Edwina wasn't called Edwina, Edwina was actually called Emily, and Kate was called Amy. I can't remember what Lord Bridgerton was called, but it was something very funny. And like, it was very obvious what it was, but I love that they went that extra step to change the names. So my audition scenes were both from episode 1, and the first scene was where Kate and Edwina discuss their journey to London and what they expect from the season before the Pastel Ball, which is the first ball of the entire season. And then the second scene, which is very special to me, is after Edwina's been crowned the Diamond of the Season, and she has her first dance with Lord Bridgerton. And he's sort of interrogating her, seeing if she's a suitable match, and she proves to be more than capable.
Do you play any musical instruments, by chance?
Many, in fact. But, for the most part, my education was taken up by more serious pursuits. Modern languages, classical literature. I do love to read.
So I found out I essentially got the role when I was gardening in the allotment with my mum. Oh, and by the way, I hadn't heard about Bridgerton or anything from, the team for weeks. So I just assumed nothing came of it. So my agent calls me and he says, tomorrow you've got a chemistry test with Johnny and Simone. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he goes, yeah, they're not really considering anyone else, so it's kind of yours. But then, like a month into filming, I actually found out the TV show I was on prior to Bridgerton, the whole costume department of that TV show knew because they were getting my measurements. So it was like everyone around me knew before I did. So how did I prepare for the role? Unfortunately, my character doesn't get to do many active things. I wish I learned how to horse ride, but alas, Edwina doesn't. But what was really fun was doing the dancing. When else do you get an opportunity to learn how to waltz and quadrille and do the allemande, which are all dances that I had to do. Our choreographer Jack was so patient and kind, and he helped us through it. And that's actually the first time I met Johnny, was when we were practicing for our waltz. Also, I did have to learn how to sort of sit and carry myself like a lady, which definitely does not come naturally to me. So yeah, that took a bit of practice. But I will say, once you put on the corset and the dress and the wig, you kind of embody that sort of aura and that personality. You just hold yourself differently. So that helps. How I sort of mentally prepare for the character is I write down her entire character history. So where she was born, what her relationships are like, what her education is like, what are her interests, what are her core personality traits. And then I create fake scenarios that have happened in the past and write down how I think she would react to that. I also had discussions with Chris Manduson, the creator and writer of the show, with the director for each of our episodes. And so it really is a collaborative, evolving process.
But you will return to visit, of course. And when the Viscount and I are blessed with children, you shall be their favourite aunt.
Something I really like to do when I'm preparing for a role is I make a playlist of all of the songs that I think embody that character and the kind of emotions that they go through in each episode. So right now on Spotify, I do have an Edwina playlist, which I may or may not make public. You'll have to see. So there's no sort of regular day of filming. It really depends on what kind of scenes we're filming, whether I'm filming all day or for half a day. I think an interesting day is probably like a ball scene.
Miss Edwina, might I have your first dance?
Certainly, my lord.
Obviously, because the show has these magnificent wigs and costumes, we do spend a lot of time in the hair and makeup chair. So often I would get picked up at 4, we're in the makeup chair by 5 a.m. Hair, makeup, dressing, breakfast, and then we're on set for rehearsals at about 8:30. And obviously for a ball scene, it's a big sequence with loads of people. So we really have to choreograph it and figure out how it's all gonna flow together, where everyone's gonna stand, what shots they're gonna do. And then once rehearsals are over, we will come back, finish getting ready, touch-ups, everything like that, and we start filming.
I am not a little girl anymore, Kate. I'm a grown woman now, ready to be a wife.
So the timeline of filming Bridgerton, we actually started in April. The read-through was the 6th of April, I believe. And we finished end of November. You have to bear in mind that it's such an elaborate show with such intricate choreography and sequences. There are so many people involved. And then with the added component of COVID, yeah, it takes a long time. My first day of filming was huge. It was actually a massive group scene in episode 2 at the Royal Ascot, the racing track. So yeah, I was really pushed into the deep end, baptism of fire. But the benefit of that is that everyone was there. So I got to meet all of the cast in one go. It really was sort of like a reunion almost. And you know, obviously it's nerve-wracking to join something new, especially when everyone else knows each other from before, but I was made to feel comfortable immediately.
I am pleased to introduce you to Aubrey Hall.
It is a beautiful home. Thank you so much for inviting us.
So the most exciting thing about my first day on set, I think it's how nice they treat you. Like if you want a tea or coffees, someone's always like happy to bring you one. And that's really unusual for me because I really like to do everything on my own, like by myself. I think the first person I met was either Golda, who plays the fabulous Queen Charlotte, or Shelley Corn, who plays my mum. And they're very dear friends now. Actually, for me, the hardest episodes to film were 1 and 2 because Edwina is so different to what I'm like in real life.
He was interested in everything I had to say, Didi. In the books I have read, even in the books I have not.
She's very sort of innocent, naive. She's very prim and proper, ladylike, gentle, kind. All of the things that I wish I was more of, to be honest. I think that I'm more outspoken and independent and boisterous. So yeah, actually, literally the opposite. That Edwina takes on some of Charithra's traits by the end, and I really hope that I've taken on some of Edwina's. From the main cast, who is most similar to their characters? Ooh, that is a good one. I'd probably say Lukey Newts. Luke is as sweet, kind, and warm as Colin is. The kind of costume experience was a really special one for me. It was actually the first time I cried as part of my Bridgerton experience, just because that was like when it became really real, right? Seeing myself in those empire waistlines and a beautiful pink gown, it was really, really special. And I think once I have my hair in Edwina's updo and I have my makeup on and my dress on, like I become the character. It's a really pivotal, if not the most pivotal part of the process in becoming Edwina. I'm really lucky. My character has, all of my character's dresses are beautiful. I definitely have a favorite one, which I have asked everyone on set if I can keep. They've all kind of said yes, but ask someone else. So they're all sort of passing on the responsibility, but I am determined to get my favorite dress. Oh, actually, this is a really fun game. Although Jessie and Frida, who did my hair and makeup, are gonna hate me for playing this game, but it doesn't matter. So I had 3 different sort of things going on with my hair. I had a full wig, a front lace wig. I had hair pieces, and then there were some scenes where it was just my own hair. So it'll be interesting if the fans can go back and watch the show and try to pick out which one was the full wig, which one was the pieces, and which one was just all my own hair. I learned a lot about compartmentalization. My character goes through a fair bit this season, and I think sometimes I really let that affect me. I let that spill over into my real life and sometimes my, relationships with friends and family. So I think that as I sort of gain more experience in this career, I'll learn how to compartmentalize screen life and real life. Undeniably, this is one of the greatest experiences of my life, and I've learned so much. I mean, for one, I think that I'm just so much a better performer now than I was at the beginning of the process. It was such rigorous filming, and I learned so much from the other cast members that thanks to them, I think I'm just a better actor.